Going up.
Whether you're doing a shingle roof, flat rubber roof, or metal, the very first important task would be to climb on the roof using a safe ladder and do a solid inspection and walk around to see what exactly you're dealing with. Unfortunately, some roofs are much older than others, so they may require some more attention, including redecking, purling boards, or some type of reinforced framing to maintain any further stability in its life. Next comes pulling precise measurements to prevent spending a small fortune on material costs. I'm a metal guy myself, so for the sake of this video,
that's what we will be discussing today.
It makes it much quicker and efficient when pulling measurements with an extra set of hands, so grab a guy before you climb up. Do not take Google Earth's word for it and try to cut corners because it's silly and you'll regret even considering it. When measuring, you'll want to adopt the habit of measuring in linear feet. Depending on your overhang reasoning, you'll want to include that in the sheet length. Standard for me is 1.5 inches. If you catch yourself on a steep cut-up style roof with several dormers and valleys, it's smart to add some extra length in areas. Okay, so let's say you have all your metal ordered and it's been delivered to the job site. I enjoy working with a crew of 4 guys. It doesn't always happen that way, but it's also nice to work with that same set of guys over a period of time to conduct a good workflow. And everyone knows what each other's strongest skill set is. We'll say it doesn't need any extra framing, and we're going to go right on top of the pre-existing shingles. I like to first get a clean surface using a blower or broom if needed. Then I'll go around the entire outside edge of the shingles and cut them back to flush with the drip edge, making it easier to stay nice and straight.
Well, while the guys are finishing getting everything watertight, you got your guy on the ground or another guy that's marking and pre-drilling sheets, also for the sake of the video, and it's all nice straight runs. Someone will mark them out with the first row, not always, but usually 6 inches, and then I'll go every 4 foot after. That, it seems to be a solid system. Now I'm ready to run the first sheet. A rule of thumb for me is to mark 1.5 inches at the bottom of the sheet on each side. Then I'll line those marks up with the outside grip edge. So I have the 1.5 inch overhang, and then I'll put a screw in it. Once it's tacked, I'll grab another sheet running it right up too. The previous one, if it's good, I'll tack it. Sometimes I'll even run a 3rd sheet to be extra safe, but usually it's good, and this will prevent your edge from veering off and getting crazy out of whack on you. You'll then be able to run much more smoothly and quicker without having to stop and look at it, check your edge, and get all bent out of shape while scratching your head. It's just a good process all around. Another game changer is learning to put your screws in straight. Slanted screws or stripped or too short screws can easily cause a future leak. Being handy with a caulk gun and being able to apply a clean solid layer of caulk around your pipe boot, sometimes along an edge where you had to cut off the rib and go underneath J-channel of a vinyl siding job or something of that nature. Sometimes it's better doing that because it looks cleaner, easier, and faster. I also place my screws in the flats rather than the rib. It just doesn't make sense doing it any other way, while other may dent the rib and cause further damage to your masterpiece. A little step-up fancy thing I also do is, I'll put 1.5 inch fold on my ridge cap and my corners rake trim pieces. That looks really sharp, and I suggest if you want to step up your game of finish work, this is it. Also, using the T25 bit eclipse screws tend to hold up longer and are stronger. Your basic 1/4 inch barn style screw. They also have bigger washers which will give a longer lifespan. You also want to use the synthetic underlayment that has the moisture barrier built inside of it rather than the older felt paper stuff. When cutting out holes for your pipe boots, or cutting out around chimneys, etc., you want to be very precise with your measurements. Always double check before making any cuts. Doing this over time will improve your quality and speed tremendously. Also, having somewhat of a passion for it and being able to enjoy the work you do will also improve your whole work performance and will definitely keep you in tighter with your boss. In a nutshell, that's basically all the key moments when installing a new sheet metal roof. Many jobs can be similar in most ways, but can also be different in a unique, odd way itself.